Hi, everybody. My name is Devin Hayes. I'm with Coalfield Development. I actually work on our capacity team. So what that means is, my colleague Josiah and I, you saw him at the previous panel earlier. We do a lot of external facing work. So Coalfield has done a really great job over the past 14 years employing people with barriers to employment, working in our social enterprises and our programs. And, so over that time, we've sort of had this revelation of, what we're doing is great, and it's having a tangible impact for people in our region, but we can't serve every single person in West Virginia and Appalachia who needs that opportunity. So one of the things we started doing several years ago was our RAPS initiative. So that is our Workforce Readiness and Professional Success program. And one of the things we said, could we take this model and have other nonprofits in the state and the region replicate that? So, these are other nonprofits who are already doing workforce development or interested in doing it. And so we're giving them our model, we're giving them some funding, and we're providing them some really tangible technical assistance and coaching to sort of replicate that and grow that program, as well as their capacity to have a deeper impact in their communities and in the region. So that is just one of the elements of our external work. And the other one is a recently sort of launched program through our Empowered Employers program. So that program is really identifying employers in the area who are, they see what we're doing, they see what our RAPS partners are doing, and they see the value of that impact. They see the value of investing in a person and, raising them up and giving them an opportunity to, contribute to their economy. So that is one of the newer programs we've kicked off. And so what this pitch contest is, it is a blend of our RAPS partners. Some have been with us for a bit, some are newer, and some of our empowered employers who have recently joined on. We're going to go ahead and get the pitches started. These are all geared towards each person, whether they're a RAPS partner or an empowered employer. This is geared towards a capacity pitch. Each person is walking away here today with a $2,500 check that will go towards that project. So first, I'm going to introduce the folks from Edge. I think we got Mr. Hairston coming up. It's going to do Mr. Joe's Poultry and Eggs.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Donnie Hairston, and from McDowell County, and I've come up with the farm work of working with poultry and eggs, and it doesn't seem feasible because of the mountainous region that we live in, but I've sat for the last 4 or 5 years and studied these birds, and they work. These mountains work for them. They've got their foliage, they got cover, everything that they need to eat. I don't have to go to no store and buy no feed. It's right there. If not, I can grow it right on the farm. And thanks to TNT Organics and greater economic development, Miss Amelia Bandy here, they've teamed up with me and helped me out a lot. And I'm trying to advance this. What I want to do is keep...
Clicker should work if you click that one there. It'll take you to the next slide.
Okay. So. If you see here, we keep our birds on the ground. They free range from daylight to dark. No artificial light on them, anything of that nature. Our farm that they're on, it's a dirt farm. We call it a dirt farm, DRT. Demonstration, research, and training. And what we do is we take young kids, not kids, but old enough to high school kids, and we train them. We teach them how to be self-sufficient on the farm. It's a lot of work. They get to learn a lot of things. They learn plants. Like I say, they learn these animals. And it's really fulfilling for me. But right now, what we're doing is we're trying to ramp up. I've got, I think, 90 birds on the ground now. And they're producing eggs pretty well. And a bunch of other farmers I talk to that use regular chicken feed from Tractor Supply, what have you, they're not producing any eggs the way this weather's flip-flopping around in the time of the year for them. But I think this is a great approach. And we're working with Ag Force again, which is Economic Development in Greater East, and T&T Organics, which is a program that they pulled up, and it's very beneficial to us. All right. Well, if you can tell, it is black owned, but it gives me a more of a drive to produce right here in Appalachia, because nobody cares about us. Nobody ought to be truthful. The government, none of them. And we just have to keep pushing and keep driving. And we can produce these eggs, and we can get a market for them, which is no problem at all. And they're not 3 or 4 months old when you buy them. You go to Kroger, them eggs are 3, 4 months old. And we're looking to ramp up. Once we get it ramped up good, then we can go on. And that's me in the mornings. We can go ahead and get things moving on a real free base. And this is this endeavor here. It's not cheap, because you make a lot of mistakes. You learn by your mistakes, and you keep moving. If it's anything going on in farming, it can go wrong. It will, believe you me. Like I say, we calling it mountain range chickens for the simple fact they free range. They're not pasture raised, because we don't have no pastures. None. We don't believe in cutting down all of our trees to feed a cow. We believe in keeping the land just as straight as we can get it. And with these chickens, you don't see no ticks. You very seldom see mosquitoes, any kind of bug. These jewels will definitely eat them up. And snakes, they're death on a snake. And so they're good. They're good for the climate. And right here is a big deal, because we've got big salmonella outbreaks on eggs everywhere in this country. We're going to go ahead and get our certification through the USDA, and we have to have equipment such as that egg washing machine right there. And that's not a cheap machine, not cheap at all. But I'll keep digging and I'll keep fighting until we get it. And the USDA certification is a process we have to go through. And we're looking at about $25,000 would possibly get us there. And if we keep digging, we'll work on it and we'll get it. And if anybody care to partner with us, just look me up, and we'll be more than happy to sit down, talk, come and visit our farm. And I think you'll see a lot of things that you enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Got it. You're good. Just want to say thank you to Edge. They do a lot of great work in McDowell County. They're one of Coalfield's RAPS partners, and they do a lot of great work innovating entrepreneurs who are, doing really, really great work like Mr. Joe's. So just want to thank them again for taking the time to be with us today. So next we have Hyrox, who we've worked with for quite a while, and they're coming on as a new RAPS partner with us. So with that, I will hand it off to y'all.
My name's Killian Dennison. I am a farm apprentice with Ruby Grow Hyrox, and we wanted to start off with who is Hyrox. So Hyrox is a organization that runs 7 major programs and award-winning educational programs for young people aged 12 to 29. It's focused on empowerment, critical thinking, and leadership, and it's really amazing to see the work in West Virginia and beyond and how it impacts the young generation coming into the new work.
And hello, I'm Emmett Doolittle, and I am also a farm apprentice with Ruby Grow. And Ruby Grow is a social enterprise business operating within the High Rocks organization. And this business is an agriculture program where young people in the community work while learning and earning as they grow and sell organic produce. So our presentation is on the apple and mushroom orchard, is what we were calling it.
So all of our flat land currently at High Rocks, I say flat because it's sort of flat, but our land for produce is all in the flat land. So we have a lot of steep land that doesn't have normal usability. And so our plan for this steep land is a genetic library of at least 25 different apple varieties. Apples have always been a big part of Appalachian culture, so we want to make sure we have an ability to still stick with that and show people. The majority of the cost from the apple orchard, it would go to fencing to protect these trees as they grow because of a lot of pests such as deer will eat them. We'll be looking into the WVDA specialty crop grants to support this. It's a long process. After a few years, we'll be able to start to take cuttings off of these mature trees to do educational workshops and show people how to graft for their own orchards and their own production. So there's a lot of education component to this. And then we will also have the ability to sell potted trees to people who don't want to graft, but they still want apples. And we will also be able to sell the apples themselves and make things such as cider, which we also do educational workshops on and show people how that process works and what that looks like if they want to be a production.
Another way we plan to utilize this orchard and the existing fencing that will already be there is mushroom log stacks. We will inoculate the logs and demonstrate the process to different community members through the same workshops that we offer, like the apple grafting. These logs would be able to fruit for multiple years, supporting our markets when we usually don't have produce, such as the early spring and later winter. And the some cost breakdown, the genetic library orchard, the fencing costs $10 a foot, and we'll at least need a couple 100 feet to about 400, 500. The compost for a 2 cubic yard sack of it is $800. For 5-gallon nursery pots, 300 of them are about $1 a piece at $300. The root stock to graft the apple trees are $200 each, or $2 each. My apologies. And the potted trees themselves will sell for $35 to $45 each.
And the mushroom logs, the spawn bags cost about $30 a piece, but they do 20 to 25 logs. And like we said, they produce for several years. So once you make your logs, you have a long time before you need to do it again. The inoculation tools that you would get would be a one-time startup cost, the angle grinder, chainsaw for cutting down trees, the tools to fill the logs themselves. And once your mushrooms get up and going, they will sell for about $16 to $20 a pound at farmers markets. So they're a pretty self-sustaining, value-added product.
And so the $2,500 would be used to leverage this availability, and then we would be able to sell the apple trees and the mushrooms for more additional profit to help our organization.
So if this sounds interesting to you, if you want to just learn about mushrooms and apples, or if you want to get involved, if you're interested in creating more of this in your local areas, please contact either our farm manager, Steve, or my email, and Emmett's email is up there, as well as phone number. So thank you.
Thank you all very much for that great presentation. Next, I'd like to introduce Barry Carter. He's with Main Street Co. here in Logan, West Virginia, and Barry is one of our empowered employers. So,
as you said, my name is Barry Carter. I am the founder and owner of Main Street Co. in Logan, West Virginia. We are a coffee shop and cafe. And we are blessed to have been open since January, and we opened debt-free. And as a current business, we have no traditional loans or debt, nor do we have any credit cards. We operate solely based upon the income of the business. Blessing and a curse. blessing and a curse. But here today, we have one major goal with this empowerment money that we'll be getting from this initiative, and that is to expand our footprint into the building beside us. And what that's going to allow us to do, that is going to allow us to accomplish two goals, in our opinion. And first is to create meaningful employment opportunities for individuals in recovery programs. Right now, our manager who runs our shop, Cedrica Mitchell, on December the 4th, she will be graduating from phase 3 of her drug recovery program. And she came to us when we were desperate for employees, and some people from the day report were in buying their favorite drink from their favorite coffee shop. And they heard us talking, and they brought her in, and we met with her, and she has been the best thing that ever happened to that place. And, she shifted our perspective on really what a business should be in a local community and what we could do, the power that we have as a business in a local community. But not only is it to, engage and bring up employees through those recovery systems and programs, but we also have a plan to launch a mini Made in West Virginia market. And within that market, well, we won't get ahead with that one. First, with the employment. So we'll be hiring individuals to do this work, to begin the work, and to sustain through the expansion of the cafe from recovery homes and recovery programs. They need help bringing normality back to their life. Through the system, they have been stripped of all kinds of their normality, even down to their ability to be transported to and from work. And so people have got to begin to take a chance. In southern West Virginia, the drug epidemic has ruined our area. But what it has done is it has created a recovery program that is teeming with individuals who are coming out and ready to go back to work. But there's a stigma attached to it. And if nobody ever takes the chance to offer and to reach out to these individuals, we call it an untapped workforce. It is an untapped workforce in southern West Virginia. And with hiring local people in recovery, you're also reinvesting back into the local economy. They're paying into the tax base. They're shopping at the other stores in the area. And, you're giving them a sense of dignity and pride and bringing them back into this, the workforce. It's just a win-win for everybody. And the accountability. So anybody in here, let me go ahead and bust one bubble for people who are nervous. People in recovery have accountability through the roof. You don't have to worry about that. So that is a big stigma with hiring people in recovery is can we trust them? Can we do this? Trust me, they have accountability. And that was one of the things that empowered us to hire Cedrica. But let's move on. Entrepreneurship, the Made in West Virginia mini market. We are in Logan, West Virginia, the gateway to the Hatfield-McCoy trails. This year, they anticipated 71 to 74,000 people to move through the area. We've already seen over 90,000 come through the area. It is let's just call it what it is. It's the replacement to the coal industry in southern West Virginia. Tourism is what we have right now. It's currently what we can get into and do now. And with tourism, southern West Virginia and West Virginia, they're creative individuals. We're brimming with talent in southern West Virginia. However, the cost of doing business, as most of you know, is high. It is very high. And the regulations, all this other stuff, man, it's tearing apart small businesses. But what we can do is we can create this mini market to where these young entrepreneurs, these artisans, these craftsmen, they can come into the fold. We can cover the burden. All they got to do is pay a small percentage or even just a flat fee to be in there. And it will be very, very cheap, almost nothing, because the whole point of this is to inspire entrepreneurship, to inspire creativity, and to highlight what we have here in West Virginia to the world. The Hatfield-McCoy Trails Visitors Center will tell you that we see every year at least one person from every state is represented in West Virginia. Every year, all 50 states show up in southern West Virginia. It's a huge market for us to get into. This strengthens the local economy. It's helping it's an entrepreneur helping other entrepreneurs begin and to start. And and it keeps fostering the new business, which is what we need in small town America and in West Virginia. I'm tired. I love what I see out here, but I'm tired of seeing these small towns all boarded up. I'm tired of seeing creative individuals leaving the area, of people with ideas leaving the area because they feel there's no hope here. If we come together through collaboration, we have it. We have all the hope we need. So we believe that, this money and future prospects that is coming in are going to help us play our part in creating that ripple effect of the social and economic transformation. Of course, one cup of coffee at a time. Best coffee you'll ever have. Look at those pictures. And yes, I bake those. You're welcome. Sorry I couldn't bring you any. But again, Barry Carter Main Street, investing in us is not just investing in a business. You're investing in people, you're investing in recovery, you're investing in creativity, and altogether you're investing in the local economy now. So thank you.
Thank you, Barry. That was great. All right. Next, I'm going to introduce Rustin Seaman. Rustin is one of our RAPS partners out of Barber County. He's the CEO for New Vision. So, Rustin, take us away.
One after another?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Well, want to say thanks to Coalfield, to the Hanna brothers, to Devin, to being here today. You didn't know it, but Barber County is a part of the Southern Coalfields of West Virginia. So anyway, we are grafted ourselves in, whether or not, but it's great to be here. And we're talking about a project that is about a $3.5 million project. And so the opportunity to be here today, there's an old saying, it takes money to do what? Okay, very good. So we're here today to try and leverage a little grant. This is the first of what will be 24 tiny houses on a 7-acre piece of property that we owned in our neighborhood. And we've found a way to create a whole new community and a whole new opportunity, particularly for this village will be for young men aging out of foster care, in life transition, and they'll have a place to live and their jobs will be building tiny houses, and we trust that it'll be a new beginning. So when it's all done, this is a rendered picture of a village of 24 tiny houses. In part by design, all the front porches face each other. There's no back door to any of the houses. You actually have to live in community. 12 of the units will be for the young men and 12 will be for adults that we are recruiting. I'm here recruiting today. If you're a retired farmer and you want to kind of be our grow agent, a mechanic, a grandmother that needs some grandsons, those 12 adults will also be a part of the mentoring program. And we believe when it's all done, it'll be completely self-sustaining through the solar energy that we're negotiating to get installed there. And we'll also be growing produce. As you know, West Virginia land is beautiful land, but it takes a little bit of effort. It just doesn't clear itself. So we have 7 acres. So today, part of our pitching was the thing that our RAPS employees long for the most is a tractor. Everybody say tractor. Very good. Anybody here started on a tractor? Okay, well, very good. There's a few of us. Our crew chief actually started driving a tractor when he was 8 years old. So anyway, he longed to have a tractor. But this is partly what the property looked like. If you've ever had to clear land, it's not easy. We've started now on phase 1, and we started in March. This year we did our groundbreaking, and this is the property where now today there's 5 foundations that are dug, and our workers are building houses and everything from the beginning. Partly what you can do with a tractor is you can do a lot of good things. How many of you know on a tractor you can learn how to dig and excavate? So those are footers. We want every young person that goes through our program to be certified in small equipment operation. And you imagine the pride of an 18, 19, 20-year-old digging their first foundation and actually one day holding up a house. It's not a complicated skill. Putting up retaining walls. You got to move a lot of things. Our project, we hope by the end of 2025, we'll actually have all that completed. And the only way that's going to happen is we multiply our efforts. There's a ton of rocks on our property. Most people think rocks aren't very valuable. We've been following the bulldozer everywhere it goes. And when it unearths a nice rock, we collect it for all the landscaping that's going on. All of that work will go quicker if we only had a what? Thank you very much. You hear our cry. Again, so we're trying to teach young men to fall in love with the tractor before they fall in love with other things. Anyway, why a tractor? Well, a tractor, you can do all kinds of things. And there's a short list. What can you learn on a tractor? You can operate a moving vehicle. Unfortunately, when young people are getting out of foster care at age 18, so far 100% of the ones we've worked with have no driver's license. How many know in 21st century, you're going to have to learn how to drive? And on our property, there'll be plenty of driving to do while you're mowing the what? Yeah, that's right, on the grass. You got to mow the grass. You can mow the grass. You want to drive? You just mow the grass. Backhoe will be digging footers. You'll be moving debris. They'll be hauling firewood. If it snows hard, they'll learn how to be a part of a maintenance crew that will move the snow. Road maintenance. We have plenty of 7 acres. There's a lot of gravel roads that we're going to have to maintain. Hay rides. Actually, tractors, you can have some good times with that. We'd have tractor pull contests. Tractors, actually, the ones we're looking at have 24 horsepower. It feels powerful if you're sitting on a machine that's got 24 horses. Amen? Yeah. Anyway, so we want them to learn how to harness that. For better or worse, in summer and winter, we believe that, learning how to run some equipment will be a valuable part. So our pitch today is, we realize at $2,500 we can't get a tractor, right? So we're trying to invest all of our money in a fundraising campaign we started at $30,000, but when we negotiated, they said, well, that's not enough. Our project is going to be a $3.5 million project, and we've currently have our eyeball on how $2.5 million will be granted to us from the Federal Home Loan Bank, leaving $1 million for us to raise. Last year, one of the ways we're going to do that is by sponsoring a house. How many here live in a house? Very good. Human beings are going to live in houses for a long time to come. Jetson age has not yet come. So we believe that every young person that comes through our program during the year they're there, by building houses, they'll know the answer to each one of these questions. Some of you can ask yourself, have I ever done that? Have you ever dug a footer? What is a footer? Put up a foundation, laying masonry blocks for the foundation. Do concrete work. They'll know what level, plumb, and square is. They'll have to frame up a house. They'll have to put the windows, the doors, the roof, the gutter, the soffit, the fascia. You'll have to learn how to insulate the house. How many know you'll have to learn how to do plumbing? How many like your indoor plumbing? Very good. Electricity. All of us use it, don't we? But isn't it a good thing as you start out your life to learn how it works and why it works and what does it take to fix it if it doesn't work? How many of you have to pay a lot of money to get somebody to come fix your stuff because nobody took the time? And I'm down to 1 minute. Very good. Is that the 1 minute call? Well, anyway, I ran out of slides. But anyway, I would just like to say thanks. And we do plan to raise $100,000 by sponsoring a house. A house sponsorship is $50,000, and we've already raised one. Our first house was sponsored, and the group gave us $100,000. We have to do that 9 times, and we are trying to raise money for a tractor, and we'll let you all come ride it and mow the grass whenever you're ready, and we'll teach you how to do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rustin. That was great. All right, next I'm going to introduce Lee Casso here from Revolt, who's one of our empowered employers. So take us away, Lee.
Thank you, Devin.
And that one will take you to your next one.
All right. My name is Lee. I'm with Revolt Energy. I'm the manager. We're one of Coalfield's empowered employer partners. And today I'll be pitching a new safety hoist system for us. It will help us to get the solar panels to the roof in a more efficient and safer way. So this is a picture of what the equipment looks like. The purpose of the safety hoist, like I said, it is an electric lift that will actually transport the solar panels from the ground to the rooftop, allowing us to increase productivity and to be able to therefore expand our workforce and our support staff, our front end office, and utilize some of the wonderful programs that Coalfield has put us in touch with to be able to bring on some more employees and partners. There's another picture of the safety hoist. The power of the safety hoist system. Benefits are faster, more efficient panel movement. It's safer, reduce risks, and reduce labor cost as well. By purchasing the safety hoist, Revolt will be able to reduce the time of installation and therefore be able to invest back into our employees and community at large. And mine went really quick, but thank you all very much. And I say that's just one of the things that Revolt's trying to do to help to increase our overall growth and be able to give back more.
Appreciate it. All right, next I'm going to introduce the folks from Athens, Ohio, True Pigments. They're a social enterprise, and they do a lot of really cool stuff, as you're about to learn. So I'm going to hand it off to you.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having us today. This is Kenny Roberts, and I'm Michelle Shively McIver with True Pigments, a social enterprise of rural action. Now, we work in the Appalachian region of Ohio, so we're thrilled to be here on the other side of the river with y'all today. And one of the many things that our states share is a long legacy that goes very, very deep in our communities of extraction and coal mining. As Appalachians, we all know that dotted all across the landscape, we see those abandoned coal mines, and thousands of our streams run orange because of the lasting legacy of environmental impact and destruction. Although most of the mines that caused this drainage were long ago abandoned, the water that flows through those mines and comes out on the surface pollutes local streams with metals like aluminum, iron, and manganese. And the most important one of those for us is iron. So these streams run through areas of our environment, making it almost impossible for stream critters like those aquatic macroinvertebrates and fish. Makes it almost impossible for those things to live. And now I want you to imagine an Appalachia where these streams run clear and where we actually have vibrant economies in those old coal towns. Our history may be one of extraction, but our future is one of innovation. At True Pigments, we're using an innovative technology to revitalize these streams by taking the iron that's found in the water, processing it in a small wastewater treatment plant, and actually harvesting that iron out and processing it into a high-quality pigment product that can be sold on the market and used to offset the cost of that water treatment. This will create jobs in rural communities and also add value to something that's been seen as a waste product for a long time. So flipping that narrative and seeing the problem as part of the solution has been incredibly powerful, not just to people in Appalachia, not just to our neighbors, but to people all across the country who can look at this and see how we're flipping that narrative and think about how they can do that to problems in their own backyard. Our work rests on a really strong foundation of more than 25 years of partnership with state and federal agencies like Ohio Department of Natural Resources, the Office of Surface Mining, Ohio University, and our local communities. We have expertise from all of these different agencies, different people who come together to build this beautiful project that sits very squarely at the intersection of stream restoration, social enterprise, environmental art, and community economic development. Indirectly, there's a lot of distribution chain jobs that would be created by our product. And directly, we'd be able to hire 4 to 5 folks in our full-scale facility. We also would be looking at additionally building resilient economy throughout Central Appalachia through the replication of this technology at existing plants and water treatment facilities in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. In a study that was completed by the Voinovich School of Leadership at Ohio University, they found for every dollar that was invested in our social enterprise, there would be almost $16 in social return benefits.
With recent global economic events and whatnot, we're beginning to see a rise for domestically produced iron oxide pigments. Currently, there's only 2 companies in the entirety of the United States that produce natural iron oxide pigments. One's in Alabama, one's in Georgia. Other than that, 84% in 2023, 84% of all iron oxide pigments came from imports, which is a little scary if you actually think about what that means in the world we live in. Iron oxides are one of the most common pigments for everything from decorative concrete, bricks, plastics, paints, so much more. It truly is the lifeblood of coloring agents in the world. They're well known for their toughness, UV resistance. both of the companies that produce in the United States, obviously they are using surface mines. So you have the excess greenhouse gases as well as some of the effects to the local environment that's caused with that. We want to change this narrative in the industry because that is just how it's done. So we want to change that story. Recently, we purchased 50 acres of property in True Town, just outside of Athens, Ohio. That includes the True Town acid mine drainage discharge. I have to say that word a lot, so I'm going to just say AMD. And that produces more than 1.4 million gallons of AMD in a day. So it's 1,000 gallons a minute. It's quite a bit. Giving us the ability to process and produce over 2 million pounds of saleable iron oxide pigments in a year. It's only 0.5% of the domestic market, to put it in perspective. So working with our partners at the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, the Federal Office of Surface Mining, Reclamation, and Enforcement, and Ohio University, and a huge number of other people that we can't even mention, we have secured the necessary funding and technical expertise to develop and build our acid mine drainage discharge. As you can imagine, building basically a huge water treatment plant as well as a pigment recovery solution is capital intensive. And so we will eventually be seeking an investment of about $6 million to complete our infrastructure for drying and grinding of the pigment, which are the final two very crucial steps for determining how your pigment comes out in density and coloration. To bring our AMD to a consumer-ready iron oxide pigment. With this final investment, we will be able to compete in the more than $2.5 billion industry of iron oxide pigments by creating beautiful colors and a vibrant economic and environmental future for Southeast Ohio. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Sarah Loftus, one of our RAPS partners, Unlimited Futures Inc., right there in Huntington, West Virginia. So.
Thank you. Hi. I'm actually going to talk today as a representative of a natural dye company called Blue Thistle Fiber. And it was incubated by Unlimited Future and in their makerspace. And I'm talking today about building. Unlimited Future is a small business incubator, so we support entrepreneurs. And through our makerspace, which Benedum funded, we are supporting creative entrepreneurs, of which Blue Thistle is one. And we're working to develop the Huntington Metro Fiber Guild, which is going to be a local guild that empowers fiber makers to enter the creative economy. And the goals of the Fiber Guild are to connect and create some connections between existing fiber makers, help support new fiber makers, help provide some entrepreneurial skills in fiber-specific making and selling their products, and also to do some skill building for fiber makers. Share some stories and then in general support the entrepreneurship for fibers. Entrepreneurs. So our guild activities are in downtown Huntington in Unlimited Future and also in a collaboration with the fiber program in the Visual Arts Center at Marshall University. And our target audience is existing fiber guilds. There's a number of fiber guilds already in the Huntington metro area, but everybody's kind of working in silos of independence in their discipline. To work with fiber producers and processors and other fiber entrepreneurs in the Huntington area. Hopefully get a new generation of fiber makers and also just general community members that might be doing hobby or craft fibers and maybe move them along to being entrepreneurs. Fiber makers are a really important part of the creative economy. The crafter industry, which people think of as like hobbies, it's like a 3 million it's a huge economy in the world. Etsy, for example, an entire industry supports the crafter entrepreneur. And fiber makers range a huge spectrum of disciplines, from quilters to needlework to bookmakers, not like racing or betting, but like actually making books. Fashion designers, artists, and then there's the fiber producers, the sheep farmers, the flax, cotton, grain. It's a huge environment of people that all work within this fiber maker community. The guild activities are for all skill levels. We are going to have all kinds of activities, whether you're brand new to maybe weaving or spinning, knitting or crocheting, quilt making, needlework. What else? So the guild activities are going to help connect our hands-on classes, guest speakers, exhibits, and other community activities in the Huntington area. And it's a collaboration between this first part, Blue Thistle, Unlimited Future, and the fiber program. We're going to share space. The fiber facility at Marshall is gorgeous, and they've offered to let all the activities happen there. So they have a stable of looms, probably 12 looms, from large barn looms to desktop looms, spinning wheels, carding machines, a huge dyeing facility, and about 15 sewing machines. So it's an amazing asset to get the guild started. And then we are starting with some in-kind contributions from the different organizations. And then the $2,500 we're going to spend building a community calendar, a website for the guild, joining some of the international and local guild or state level guild. And obviously the long-term goal is to actually get more funding to actually support the guild activities over a longer period. We're hoping to have 3 guild activities this first year, where we're going to bring in an expert to speak and then have a hand-on exhibit or activities. And if you want to know more, you can reach me at Blue Thistle Fibers. And that is some of our natural dye yarn. That's it.
All right, that was all of our current RAPS partners and empowered employers who are here with us today. We had 3 more that were planning on being here. Unfortunately, due to the weather, they were just concerned about being able to get here or get back. So I just want to give them a shout out. So one of those is Pollinate. They are an organization based out of Charleston, West Virginia. They do a women's recovery facility, doing on-the-job training, soft skills, job readiness skills in their social enterprises and programs. One of those being Cafe Appalachia. If you've ever eaten there, that's one of theirs. So just want to give a shout out to them. See the other one, Project Healthy Kids. They are based out of Morgantown, where they operate in Morgantown and Huntington. They do a lot of food systems work, working with the schools, working with folks in recovery. So they're a really great partner, and we're happy to have them on as a new RAPS partner. And then the final one is Big Ugly Community Center out in Lincoln County. Big Ugly is just an absolute huge asset to that community. If you've ever been out there, that is just it's amazing what they've been able to do with so little assets and resources at their disposal. So just want to give a big shout out to them. They are still eligible for this $2,500 pitch. We'll have another opportunity coming up sometime soon that they'll be able to do that and get those funds. So with that, I'm going to invite everybody else back up here. I'm going to call one at a time, and we're going to hand these checks out to everybody.